Hey everyone, today we are going to be taking a look at my recommendation for the top 10 EDC fixed blades. All of these will have in-depth overviews on the channel, so if you want to take an even closer look at any one in particular, I highly recommend going and checking those out. But for this video, we're going to be taking just a really quick look just to help steer you in the right direction. Now, for this first one here, we are going to be working pretty much from largest to smallest. Here we have the Benchmade Dacian. Now, this one made a lot of waves when it first came out. It is on the larger side for an EDC, but it is still totally pocketable. And here it is in its new sheath. The first initial sheath kind of got some backlash, so they fixed that. You have a new leather and then Boltaron insert there, so that you get that kind of like snap retention from Kydex, but everything you love about leather. And that is set up for scout carry. But as is the case with all of the options today, if you're not a fan of a particular style of carry, with a little bit of creativity and elbow grease, and then the right materials, you can set up most fixed blades for your carry preference, whether it be scout or something like an ulti clip to clip in the pocket, on a belt, or even on a pack. So that out of the way, this Benchmade Dacian here is running in CPM MagnaCut blade steel. As you can see, there is a ton of jimping on the back of that spine, and it is a nice full tang. So again, even though it is on the bigger side, in that sheath, you could even just drop that into your pocket or in a backpack. Then next up, we have the Tops El Pionero. You can see we actually have a couple tops in this video. Fixed blades are their bread and butter, so that is to be expected. This one has been extremely popular for the last couple years. It's a nice, slim, pokey blade made out of 1095 and these nice G10 handle scales. Again, full tang. And if we bring in its sheath, you can see that it is a Kydex sheath set up with a steel like spring clip. So again, great for pocket, belt, or pack carry. And moving on next, we have the Irie Custom 110. I had to include this one because, like I just said, it is a custom. And I'm going to include all of the prices on screen here, so you can see that these are coming in right at $175, which is super competitive with a lot of the other options that we have here today. But they are all unique, have a ton of different handle options, woods, micartas, all handmade, gorgeous full tang fixed blades. And they are now in D2 tool steel. And then they do come with a nice stitched leather sheath. But again, with a little bit of creativity, if you're not a fan of that, you can easily set it up for a different form of carry, or again, just drop in the pocket. It is a little bit bigger, but nothing too unmanageable. Then moving on, this one has been incredibly popular this year. This is the newer Hogue Extrak. This is the standard size. There is an XL, which that might bump it just a little bit out of the EDC category. As you can see, those handles are super textured G10, flipped onto the spine. It is super slim and really like squared off, which I personally love. Really locks into the hand. And then there on the backside of the blade, you can see that this is CPM M4. That is one of my absolute favorite tool steels of all time. So I love to see it on literally anything. And then bringing in their sheath, you can see it is a polymer sheath with an ulti clip attached, which is awesome. And go ahead and clip it in there. You can see you get excellent retention with all those eyelets on there. Super, super easy to set up for any form of carry that you'd like. Then next, again, one of our most popular fixed blades, and this one has been really since last year as well. It's the Viper Handy. This one comes in a couple different blade shapes, and as is the case for all of these, tons of different handle options from micartas, woods, G10, and more. So the main thing to look out for is if you like the handle shape here, because that is the one thing that is consistent across all of them. And man, it is just one of the most ergonomic fixed blades I've ever felt. Great like micro jimping along the spine there. It gives you tons of great traction. These are currently running in CPM MagnaCut blade steel. That's awesome as well. And bringing in its sheath, Kydex, set up with IWB loops. Super customizable, great retention. One of my top recommendations. Really can't go wrong with any of the ones you see here today. And again, if you want to see even more information, highly recommend checking out their in-depth overviews. Then next up, we have a LionSteel. This is their Ago, which is Italian for needle, and you can probably figure out why. crazy slim. I love it. I really tend to compare it to like a paring knife. You can tell it's a bit thick in the spine to be a paring knife, but it just really looks and feels like one. That gorgeous satin blade is running an M390, so excellent corrosion resistance and edge retention. Super, super comfortable in hand. A great little slim EDC. The leather sheath here is set up to either just drop in the pocket or belt carry. I would totally just drop this whole thing in the pocket. It is so slim, and I'll show you that in there. I'd probably end up trimming that leather lanyard down just a little bit personally, but it does look really nice and makes it easier to grab and pull out of the pocket, so I totally respect that. And then again, tons of different handle material options, so that is a great little option from LionSteel out of Italy. And next up, we have our Bradford Guardian. This is the Guardian 3. Now, like I said, I tried to go from largest to smallest, but the Guardian's interesting because the Guardian 3 also has two big brothers, the Guardian 3.2, and then a step up to the Guardian 3.5. So each steps up, so depending on your preference on size, they have some great options. One thing of note on the 0.2 and 0.5 is they do have that extra finger guard, which I know a lot of people do like. So that's just a difference there, but they all do have that same like choil feel there. But on the 3, it does not have that guard. So if you're worried about your fingers slipping up, you might want to go a little bit bigger. All of these do come with these leather sheaths set up for scout carry, but Bradford also does sell Kydex options as well. And again, super easy to modify. Then we have the ESEE Izula II. If you want to go even smaller, there is the Izula 1, which is about a half of an inch smaller in the handle. These blades are 1095 with a really tough powder coating, and they have a nice polymer sheath that is super easy to set up. You can even make this into a neck knife. I've seen that very, very commonly. But again, tons of different coatings and handle options. Then next, we have a Spyderco. Spyderco doesn't make the most amount of fixed blades, but this one has done really well. It is their Stok or Stok. I believe it's the Stok. It does come in a couple different blade shapes. Then on the sheath, you do have this like folded Bolteron sheath, and it does come with a Spyderco G-clip. So if you're a fan of Spyderco, I highly recommend getting your hands on this one. It is super, super slim and again, squared off, like I said, which I really, really like. And it's just like kind of form fit to my hand. If you have larger paws, it might be a tad small, but for me, it's Goldilocks. It's just right. Then next up, we have a newer one. This one is from Audacious Concept, and it is the Fanglet. Tons of different handle options and blade finishes, but it is a nice, slim, compact EDC. You can see that is full tang, locks in the hand great. Again, some jimping, that kind of like upswept blade, and bringing in the sheath here. This is a Kydex sheath with an IWB loop, but again, tons of eyelets. Easy to customize, super snappy retention. This has been a really, really cool one. I was pretty stoked when I saw that come in. Not to be confused with the Stok. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the Tops Ivie. This one I have been showing to people in the showroom, like left, right, and center. It is a nice little like 2.5, maybe 3 finger fixed blade here. As you typically get from Tops knives, you get a super thick blade stock. And even though it's tiny, you can just tell you can really put this thing through the ringer and you can just beat on it. Again, 1095, but it does have a really nice Cerakote coating on it. And it does come with a Kydex sheath with that steel spring clip, but also could be set up as a neck knife because this is definitely a small enough option, but it's pretty stout in hand. So definitely not like dainty or too small by any means. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this selection here. And again, if you think that I forgot anything, be sure to let me know in the comments. If you want to read even more about any of these or pick one up for yourself, there are links in the description box down below that'll take you on over to gpknives.com. But before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and stay sharp.